Wait, did Paisley and Brooks actually break up? Because the internet has been trying to figure out what these two are for months, and now people think something might have changed. But here's the crazy part. So, how did we go from are they together to wait, did they break up? And trust me, by the end of this, you will understand exactly why people are suspicious. Because there are a few things that had fans questioning what is going on behind the scenes. Okay, let's go back. If you followed Paisley and Brooks for a while, you already know these two have had people talking. They have appeared together in videos and TikTok multiple times, and the interaction have been interesting. Like not just oh they're friends. I'm talking about the kind of interactions where the comments immediately turn into girl, are you gonna tell us something? Because they have been super comfortable around each other, affectionate, playful, and sometimes honestly giving major couple energy. And naturally, people started assuming they were together, but neither of them really gave the internet the answer it wanted. There was no big yes, we are dating, and there was no guys, we're literally just friends. So everyone was left in the weird middle ground where nobody actually knew what their relationship was. And that made people pay even more attention. Because when you don't give the internet an answer, the internet will create one for you. While for a while, people were basically watching every interaction between Paisley and Brooks, who appeared in those videos, how they acted around each other, whether they are still spending time together. And then recently, people started noticing something that they thought felt different. And this is where the breakup rumors started getting interesting. Because fans began going through some of the Paisley's TikTok reposts. Because fans have been going through some of the Paisley's TikTok reposts. And some of them seem pretty emotional. There were posts that people interrupted as being about going through a difficult time, emotions, and not wanted to be preserved in a certain way. And obviously, one random repost doesn't mean anything. It could be about school, family, or friendship, something completely personal, literally anything. But because of the whole Paisley and Brooke situation, people immediately started asking, "Wait, could this be about him?" And once one person makes that connection, suddenly everyone starts looking. And that's when the theories started getting bigger. People weren't just looking at one repost anymore. They were looking at the overall vibe. Fans who had been following Paisley and Brooke started saying they felt like the two weren't giving up the same energy anymore. And this is what made people start wondering if something happened behind the scenes. Maybe they had an argument. Maybe they stopped talking to so much. Maybe something romantic happened and it didn't work out. Maybe they decided they were better off as friends, or maybe nothing happened at all and we're literally watching a TikTok repost and turn into a breakup investigation. But here's where things get really interesting because if Paisley and Brooks were actually dating, why wouldn't they just say something? Well, they don't have to, especially when their friendship has already been the subject of so much speculations. Imagine having millions of people analyzing your interactions with another person. You stand next to him. People make edits. You hug them, they are dating. You don't appear together for a few days. They broke up. You post an emotional TikTok, she's going through it. At some point, you probably just stop explaining yourself. So it's completely possible that if something did happen, neither of them would want to make it public. But here's also exactly what makes this rumor impossible to confirm. Because we're only seeing that they chose to show online. And there's another possibility that honestly makes this whole thing even crazier. What if they were never a relationship in the first place? Because think about it. We've been saying, did they break up? But we don't even know if there was anything official to break up from. Maybe they were just really close friends. Maybe they had feelings for each other at the same point. Maybe they were talking. Maybe they were just too comfortable around each other because they spent a lot of time together. We don't know actually. And that's important because the internet has a habit of taking a rumor repeating it enough times and eventually treating it like a confirmed fact. But then why are people suddenly talking about them again? Because fans think the energy changed, and when you spend months watching two people act in a certain way, even a small change becomes noticeable. Maybe they are interacting less. Maybe they are not appearing together as much. Maybe people are simply paying more attention because the rumors have been around for so long. But either way, the question is still there. What changed? And honestly, that is the part I find more interesting than the breakup rumor itself because there could be a completely innocent explanation, or there could actually be something going on that we are not seeing. Now, before anyone runs with this and starts posting Paisley and Brooks confirmed breakup, please don't, because we need to separate what people think from what we actually know. And this is where the confirmed information comes in. As of now, there has been no public confirmation that Paisley and Brooks were officially dating. There has been no public confirmation that they broke up. Neither of them has publicly announced a breakup, and neither has publicly confirmed a romantic relationship. So technically, we cannot call this a confirmed breakup. However, what is publicly observable is that Paisley and Brooks have appeared together multiple times in the videos and TikToks, and the interactions have been close enough that fans repeatedly started speculating about whether they were more than friends. That's the confirmed part. Everything beyond that, the theories about a breakup, the theories about falling apart, the theories about Paisley reports being about Brooks. It's a speculation, and I think that's an important distinction because a vague TikTok isn't proof. A missing appearance isn't proof, and someone acting differently online isn't automatically proof of a breakup. But I also understand why people aren't letting this go, because when you have two people who have been giving the internet relationship vibes for months, and then fans suddenly think the dynamic has changed, of course, people are going to ask questions, and maybe we are completely wrong. Maybe Paisley and Brooks are perfectly fine. Maybe they're still close. Maybe nothing changed whatsoever. Or maybe something did happen behind the scenes and neither of them is ready to talk about it. And until they actually address it, we just don't know. Which honestly makes this whole situation even more interesting. Because right now, we are not watching a confirmed breakup. We are watching the internet trying to figure out whether there was even a relationship in the first place. So now I want you to know so now I want to know what you think. Do you think something actually changed between Paisley and Brooks? Or are those reposts giving you breakup vibes? Or are fans talking completely unrelated TikToks and turning into an FBI evidence? Because personally, I'm not calling this a breakup yet, but I'm definitely keeping an eye on this one. And that is it for today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye!